Well, let me tell you a little something about me. When it's Saturday night, I need to blow off some steam. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I've been rolling in since the clock came Monday morning. From the end of the week, I'm bound to blow. We're walking to the honky tonk like a pack of wolves now. Order of a round of drops and it's away we go.
Equipment talk right here from IRAY Companies. So I'm Ray Henry. Colonel, they call me the Colonel.
I'm Troy Henry. I President Brad Software.
Logan back at it again, Vice President of Brad Software.
Yeah.
Jordan Collins with Brad Software.
Why do you have to get up on your mic like that? The viewers ain't gonna like that, man. That's hilarious.
We got an editor. That's fine.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you start us off, Mr. Mike Man? Get us going.
Well, today's topics on the agenda are the lightnings again from last week, or well, not last week, but from a few weeks ago when we talked about the Ford Lightning, the all EV Ford truck, and Sunbelt Rentals ordered a fleet of them.
Yeah, they're
700.
700 Ford Lightning trucks. And how many years is it going to take them to get the 700 out?
I don't know. They should have.
Wait, they're not even producing them yet?
No, these are these are
They're on a
orders.
waiting list to buy one is about 3 years with more than 200,000 reservations.
So
200,000.
So do you think that that Sunbelt is going to be number one on the 200,000 list? I don't know.
Probably not.
Probably dealerships are first, right?
Well,
I would hope so.
There's probably federal orders on that too.
Oh, it's going to
So basically what the Cybertruck should have been.
Pretty
Well,
Sorry, Elon.
I mean, there's different design philosophies on these, you know. Ford kept the basic truck look. Doesn't have bulletproof glass, you know, that's a con.
no bulletproof. Oh golly, how are you going to make it through all that army stuff? You know? Well, you know, Sunbelt's pretty smart. You know, they got a lot of electric lifts and other electric type vehicles that they use now. So adding to that fleet is probably a good plus. They probably want to take them greenhouse gases and drop them down. But not only that, you know, if you look at, let's say, like even these trucks that are, you know, that are the Lightnings, they're Ford. I really don't know how much testing or what they've done to those things, so they're going to last for them out on the road running back and forth. But, you know, how many miles will they go in a day? Or how many miles are they, you know, is the charge good for? That's some of the questions that I'd be asking, you know, especially with Ford just coming out with this Lightning truck, you know. What is it going to be?
The average for a pickup.
300 miles.
Say 300 to 350 is all.
300 miles, and that's on a good day, or is that a bad day?
Yeah, I wonder
That's their estimate.
completely
320.
What if you forget to charge it?
Workload.
Oops. Now you're stuck at home.
You put the generator in the bed and carry some gas with you, okay? And then charge your truck with the
Carry
fuel.
some gas.
You know,
I don't know. I mean, electric
You know,
cars
a lot
are
of these
awesome and all.
You know, a lot of these Teslas, a lot of the owners keep a generator in the back, a fuel powered generator in case they run out of gas.
That's
Really?
in a Tesla?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I'd like to see that, because then,
just for emergencies.
yeah, well then they got it for emergencies. That's not considered gas. It's called alternative fuel. That's all. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that you know, the nice thing about it with them Fords is that Ford's been around a long time, right? And I'm sure they've got that assembly part pretty much figured out, you know, so that's kind of cool. The hard part is to know exactly what, you know, is to know what's going to happen, you know, and, you know, hey, is our grid going to handle all these trucks and stuff coming out here in the next 2-3 years? You know, what are we doing about that? You know?
Not in Texas, you know.
Yeah, Texas, they can't even handle a little ice storm.
Yeah, I went down there and I made a couple jokes. They didn't think I was so funny just because I'm from Minnesota and I expect that sort of thing.
Yeah.
They didn't find my jokes entertaining.
Shout out to our editor / audio
Texan.
guy.
So what do you
Evan.
guys think? Do you think that that they're going to have drive motors on each wheel on these, or are they just going to be rear wheel drive?
For sure.
Oh,
It's going to be motors on every wheel, probably.
Yeah. Like I said.
Yeah, I would guess so. Why not? I mean, there's no reason not to.
Does it say they're all wheel
Yeah.
drive?
I have to look up the specs on the Lightning.
Because even on a truck like that,
Yeah, pull that up, Jordan.
it only takes it's a lot less power that a truck would need when it's only running 2 motors electric versus 4 electric. Now there's going to be some controversy too. Say what kind of voltage are they going to run? Are they going to run 400 volts or are they running 800 volts on these trucks? That means that 800 volts you're going to have double the batteries that you're going to have with 400 volts, especially in the battery lines.
Twice the weight.
I got you.
Twice the motor. You'll need twice the motor. I know in the Rivian that they came out with, there's a 250 horsepower motor, at least that they project, at each wheel.
250 horse.
Yep. So
So-
you have about
Those Rivians are monsters.
They are. They're
Well,
sweet.
we're talking
They're
about the Lightnings right
big.
now.
I realize that, but I'm just saying that if
Yeah.
Ford is gonna,
That's
they're known for how do you say? Generally, they're overproducing as far as giving you more than.
Oh, Ford will give you more than what you expect.
Well, I'm trying to pump them a little bit, so hopefully they're listening.
You're not
But
going for some. You want to be accommodator for Ford? Is that what you're saying?
Hey, look, nothing against you, Troy, but we like Chevy around here. Okay,
where's their EV truck?
Chevy's EV truck. You got me there.
We're not
Okay.
Ford's the
A
only
front and rear motor, all-wheel drive. So yeah, they have 4 motors around each tire.
So they're going to be all-wheel drive
Mm-hmm.
on the Lightning.
If you look over here, I mean, I can pull
what
it up.
about the voltage on them? Can you see the voltage they're going to be running?
By the way,
It's gonna have 560 horsepower. What?
Yeah.
little.
Wow, that's a lot of horsepower for that little truck.
That's 14 hours at 220 volts.
So
Really
14
amazing.
hours of charge or 14 hours of running?
Good question.
I don't think.
No, that's what it says. Charging 14 hours at 220 volts,
So that's kind of long.
Well, yeah, but it's
and that's a lot of power.
well, 220 is your regular. No, that's you've already upped it. Jeez.
220?
Yeah, you're pumped in 3-phase at that point.
Yeah, you could be 3-phase. 220 can run off from single phase if they've got they got to have an inverter on them
Oof.
that'll actually kick it in. Because you're mostly where any of that power comes from. It's the startup. It's not necessarily the drive. So yeah, well, Ford, they got good luck. Good going, Ford. What else who's the next one coming online? Because somebody got to copy Elon because he's already showed it, but he always gave these guys a go to go. They got to get her done. He didn't exactly build a total truck out yet, did he?
Wow, have you saw it?
The truck?
They made the Cybertruck.
Yeah, but I mean, did he build a
They're
truck?
not out yet.
It's going to be a production model. yet.
Yeah.
Huh?
I don't think so.
Cybertruck.
But he was a smart guy. He turned around. He got everybody to put $1,000 down on their truck, and he had to get at least 300,000 people. Well, 1,000 times 300,000. Well, that's a few million. But anyways,
Just
A few.
yeah.
And then he
and
said, get scammed. No production model until
till when?
2030. I don't know.
Wow. So
When is
Seems
the
like
Cybertruck
by then, hopefully, they come up with a new design.
coming out?
Before the end of 2022, it says.
This is 2023. Yeah.
yeah, they're going to have the ones out by 2023. They're going to have some trucks out, right?
I don't even know if you'll be able to go to order one because I think they'll be sold out as soon as they come out.
Well, if it's going to take 3 years to do it, and if you ordered now, I guess you're going to have to be waiting 3 years. Right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so however you look at it, guys, gals, it's 3 years down the road on that one right there. Ford, good job. Keep after it. I know you'll do well. Always have. So,
I do love my Crown Vic. I wish they'd make an electric Crown Vic.
well, you could make one. Hey, once you get that, you could just take the body off and put the body on a new kit. How does that sound?
Now that's an idea that I can get behind right
I
there.
need some big electric motors for that, dude.
Oh no, that pickup will take as much to drive it as that Vic will. That Vic has got a nice rear end in it, so if you get electric motor in the front end, you'll be in good shape.
What's interesting about the Cybertrucks is they have three packages: dual motor all-wheel drive, tri-motor all-wheel drive, and single motor rear-wheel drive.
Wow, there's a lot of options then.
Yeah, ranging from 39,000 to 69,000.
So when we start talking like electric trucks and everything else, do you know how many moving parts are involved in that to run it down the road?
Less than a gas-powered car.
Many, well, hundreds less. Let's put it that way. Moving parts.
It'd be
Yeah.
kind of weird looking under the hood and you're not seeing anything though.
It's your trunk. It's not hood anymore.
What is your Ferrari?
Well, you won't even see in the trunk. Yeah, your hood will be your
Exactly.
trunk, and so will your back will be your trunk. That'll be weird, huh?
You know what I think is funny is the fact that we'll just keep the way that cars look, even though they were designed to have an engine in the front,
Yep.
kind of thing. But we'll just keep it that way just because we like the way that cars look, and it would be so weird to be driving like flat-faced cars, and probably not too safe either, if I had to guess.
Well, like buses and motor coaches and stuff, the motors in the back, so they're flat in the front.
Well,
Yeah, but it would still be weird. Wouldn't you think it'd be weird to see like a EV Ford truck with no front end? It's just like you're
Well,
just
you have
like
to do something.
right at.
Well, haven't you seen the Volkswagen buses, man?
those are
That's basically what I'm talking about. Just imagine like a flat-faced bus, but on a car instead of
People
a
love
big
those.
bus. No, I mean, if you love that, more power to you. But bad choice.
Hey, man. Surfer
I
bus.
like
is
a little more
amazing.
room between myself and the next moving objects,
Yeah, yeah.
Especially
Yeah, they're just gonna
Like I
start
said,
packing,
a little less safe.
They're
Like
just gonna start packing lead in the front.
no.
no.
No. So,
Yeah,
what,
all right.
what could the front be? The front could probably be something else different, right? If you were going to look at it that way. But for right now, we'll leave that up to those guys. How's that sound? Let's move on to another
Well, I mean,
topic.
it's for aerodynamics too. You
Yeah.
don't want to just have a wall.
What's that next topic there, Jordan?
Yeah, Jordan.
It's
what do you-
about VR. Now they're training truckers with VR machines.
Oh, the train of the
So you
truck.
guys,
So they're virtual
Yeah.
reality, huh?
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like
It's kind of
iRacing became a really big thing back when COVID hit. So, I mean, not that far of a leap. Race car drivers have been training on these for a long time.
I have one.
Yeah, I think you brought it over to our place one time, didn't you?
I have
I
one.
sure did.
Yeah.
And
Headset that kind of shows you like you feel like you're in the same room as what everything else. You just really
One of them units.
you're kind of like
Yeah.
you're in the cloud like normal, huh?
Well, I think it's pretty useful, especially for like training stuff, because like humor me, but it's like even like flight simulators, for instance, like being able to virtually fly. I mean, you could learn how to fly a plane on one of these little things, and you used to have to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for that stuff. Same thing with heavy equipment now these days and big trucks. You can just get in a VR simulator and do a lot of training before you ever even have to get into a real vehicle to do something. Granted, the real world's a lot different than the video game, but you get to learn the basics of how it operates, like, wide swinging trailers, whatever, how booms operate, joysticks, controls move, and maybe if I got to play on an excavator in a VR game, I wouldn't have tried to walk that excavator that one time horribly.
well, there's also this too.
Yeah, I don't know if you're
oh,
walking or
wow.
operating that.
I think there are actually.
This is pretty wild too.
So
I
that
just
use those
was looking for.
Forklift simulator.
Yeah, they're using it for forklifts.
Yeah, well, they can use it for a lot more than just forklifts. Simulator's a simulator. I mean, it's anything you're going to simulate that you want to go out and run. It's kind of your classroom time. You can throw your headset on wherever you're at if you have one, right? And you could be in a training, sitting in your living room having popcorn.
Well, I
right?
know in one of the technical.
This is what I'm used to is like this for iRacing.
That is one of the ways that they train.
For what?
Yeah, like a three screen monitor.
Training program.
Mhm.
They use VR and for training like that. They don't use as many actual machines. It's safer for the people.
Yeah, because the VR is safer. It's safer. You get to learn more, and
Well, it's not as
Well-
it's not as hands-on, but yet you don't have to worry about people not paying attention to counterweights, buckets, all of all the safety hazards that come along with the real equipment.
Well,
Yeah, like I said, it just gives you that basic knowledge to be able to go out and actually use it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and that's why they're training people this way, is because when it comes autonomous, then that way you could be in your living room and program and watch it from there, and they could do the job. So you don't really have to move. Wouldn't that be a nice day?
You just sit with your headset on and a steering wheel on your couch.
Yeah.
Where are you driving? I don't know, Las Vegas. I'm almost there.
Yeah. Well, that's if you still want a job, right?
Well, we can't all.
Yeah, and I think that's a good segue into this next topic. Jordan, why don't you get that next topic pulled up?
Talking about the new 3D machine control option.
Yeah, basically, exactly. But I mean, it's kind of the groundwork for what that would become, because I don't think this is like a remote deal or anything.
Or
That is library that made.
Yeah, it's like basically 3D architecture, or basically like predefined. I don't know what you'd call it.
So
Digging?
it's actually, you guys have seen this on some of the things that they've been doing with doctors and that, using that remote where they could be over in Russia or England or whatever, and you could be down here at Rochester Hospital, and they actually set a remote up where they can take and do surgery on you remotely, right? So what's to say that, you to sit down and have controls and everything else, that you could be having a screen in front of you of what the unit has on it and where you're at, and you could dig holes without being in the unit.
This kind of goes along with one of our last topics that we did, or on our first podcast, and we did the remote control access where it had that extra piece on the rear of it.
Well, they want ones-
Well, I think what's interesting about this whole thing is that it's like a 3D system, because like they already have a 2D system that you can use to, and that's just kind of all kinds of GPS tools and fancy equipment attachments or add-ons, whatever you call them. But a 3D excavator system, now that's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, 3D is the way it's going right now on that kind of stuff, but you're going to see autonomous 100%, where they're going to run their own, shoot the grade, put it down, and you just watch over it, make sure it's running all at grade and it's working.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's going to happen here. But I didn't want to jump off from that subject, but I was actually looking, when we were looking at that Ford, they had another article that came up in there, and it was telling about Doosan. Doosan actually started their own electric track loader in the skid loaders. So who's Doosan? Well, Doosan is Bobcat. They bought Bobcat out a few years back, and they actually, or they partnered on this deal, one of the two. But Doosan is the one that is involved in that deal, believe it or not. Do you guys know anything about that?
Heck no.
No, nothing, huh? Well, we'll have to educate.
I'm just trying to find the article that you're looking at, but please tell us in the podcast. Tell us.
Oh, okay. So they're basically, let me pull it up real quick here so you can kind of see. Bobcat battery electric technology. It's called a T7X is what it is. It's a compact track loader. Now this thing here is actually, you can see it right here. It's for moving dirt, of course, but it is actually all electric. It's all electric compact loader. One of the world's first, I would say, in a skid steer type that you can get in and drive and or operate, I should say. But it's the world's first all-electric compact track loader. It's called a T7X, and it is a CTL, which is going to be a track unit. And typically, it outperforms
It's diesel counterparts.
diesel
Is that a big
counterparts.
statement?
So
And then
there's no diesel fuel.
process, no hydraulic or engine oil, no DEF, and of course no diesel. That is wow.
Yeah, no hydraulic, nothing
Really
right there,
changed-
guys.
changed
It's
everything.
they're taking everything away from it. They're putting all electric, and they're saying that this thing will actually run for. They're saying 4.5 hours. Well, that's a full day for a contractor, anyways, right? So they said with the breaks you take for lunch and so on and so forth, that this thing will do an 8-hour day job.
So they're producing it for the
Make sure you hook it up to the charger.
Yeah, otherwise you got your diesel generator behind, right? But just think about it. You're taking away the DEF fluids. You're taking away all the hydraulic fluids. You're taking away all contaminants, which would be oils and contaminants like that would actually drip out of the hoses and have hoses that would break and have those things happening, right? So they got to have like maybe a electric over hydraulic, or even a electric motor on all the stuff, huh?
Well, yeah, you'd think that, golly, because you'd think that getting that arm to move, you're fully loaded, getting them arms to raise lower, that'd be a lot of
That'd take a lot. Yeah, a lot of power.
Well, electric motors got a lot of power, guys. I mean, they really do.
All right, but you're not just running your tracks. Now you're running your buckets. You're running your up downs. I wonder how much torque it's going to take for that dummy that spins in one circle. How that goes.
Yeah. Well,
The part that I love the most about it is the fact that it's quiet. It like a regular skid steer is pretty loud. This thing would basically sound like a Tesla. It'd just be, you wouldn't even know it was working until you hear it break the ground below you.
yeah, but we're all Americans. If we didn't, it's like the Harley Davidson, right? If you didn't have something, you could hear a little noise and a little putt with you. I mean, it'd be kind of tough. You see all these younger generation. They're putting cans on their cars and stuff so they can hear the roar of it all. So what are they going to do? Put a recorder inside there so you can listen to the stereo tell you vroom 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 vroom. Beep beep.
Makes them happy.
Yeah, whatever makes them happy.
Yeah. Well, that's just it. You just probably put on some of the semis when they're autonomous. I suppose they're going to put Jake brake sounds on them, so they give the old sound when.
I mean, we make jokes, but coming from a construction background, like that noise of that diesel coming around and the click of the tracks and all that stuff. That's how that it's around you. That way you keep that awareness. When you don't have that motor noises, you don't have anything. I mean, the people around you are going to have a hard time anticipating your movements unless they're directly staring at you.
Well,
True.
I think you have sensors on the unit too.
They'll start beeping at people.
Well,
Beep, beep.
it might give them a laser. Look like
sure.
a gun's going to get you or something.
Deploy an airbag.
Yeah. Move out of the way now.
I mean, I love the idea, but to me, it was the same with that excavator we'd done before. It was like, if it's so quiet, then I feel like it adds a level of a security risk or a safety risk.
A lot of these like EV companies,
Good point.
they have a regulation on adding just white noise to their vehicle.
Oh.
Like I know Tesla kind of got in trouble with a few states because their cars were too quiet.
Oh, is that right?
So they added a feature that they could choose their car noises.
No kidding. So they're going to run some more batteries just to run the volume, huh?
Wonder if you could make it like
That don't make no sense to me. Too quiet, like.
roar.
Well, yeah, if a pedestrian is relying on the sound of your car coming, there's just a Tesla right in his face. It's weird.
I mean, really, the only sound you hear from a regular vehicle anyway is the road noise. You don't really hear a regular car running as long as it's got its mufflers and it's a modern car, especially little tiny engines like 4 cylinders and 6 cylinders. So that's just weird to me.
Well, you got 4-cylinder on your motorcycle, or is that 2-cylinder?
4.
No, that's a 4-cylinder, but
Mine's 4.
she ain't got no muffler on her, Chief. Yeah, that thing ain't got no muffler.
She little loud. Yeah.
Not just a little loud. It is law-breaking loud.
Ooh, don't be talking that way. You're on a podcast.
Oh, yeah, don't worry. He is.
Well, that's okay. Come find my motorcycle while I'm on it, please.
Yeah, right. Oh, don't ask him too many questions.
Give us Mike's bad name.
That's a statement. What? I could be going 10 mile an hour down the road, and it's still going to be louder than an electric vehicle. That's for sure.
Oh yeah,
Go 20.
Coming.
Just go 20 mile an hour in third gear and see how loud it is. I'm sure it's pretty quiet, dude.
Yeah. Well, years back when I was a young fellow, I lived in a place where we tore cars apart, right? So that was part of my job. And, well, they would have called it child labor back then because I wasn't even 8, 9 years old. I was working on cars. But anyways, I went and I took a generator off from an older vehicle because they put generators on, not alternators. And generators, if you hooked them up, the wires backwards, they would pull. So it'd start spinning by itself. And as a kid, I thought, golly, wouldn't this be neat? You could turn around and put that on and hook a belt to it. And I started working on it, and I put it about 3/4 of the way together, but I couldn't get the battery to last long enough to pull me around the yard. You know? But it was a good idea. It was a good idea. So now just think, they took electric motors and put on them. Now if they could put generators on the hub somehow, that as they're turning, that they could bring back power to the battery, that would be cool, wouldn't it?
Well, I'm sure we would have that technology if we hadn't destroyed everybody that ever tried to advance it.
Well, that's because of the automakers.
I mean, that is a theory. It's
Theory
not
of
proven.
destroying. Okay, good theory.
Looking you okay?
Jordan, you there?
I'm sorry. I lost the last 30 seconds because my water went down the wrong pipe and I choked on my water. That was
That had to been
that was
exciting, huh?
it hurt.
Oh,
It
yeah.
hurt.
So,
Oof.
all right,
I still just
Jordan, what do you got going on next?
Oh man,
see.
sorry.
I don't know if
Thrown
I
off.
like this next one.
The first electric rough terrain crane.
Rough terrain.
That's a rhyme.
Mm,
A rough
I
terrain.
don't know how to pronounce this company.
Liebherr.
It's Liebherr.
Yeah, Liebherr. They're German owned. They're one of
They're
they
a German company called Liebherr.
and they make some quality equipment.
Rough terrain crane. Wow. It's the TX.
Well, no, that Lebher is just the one that they kind of
They're the
made
first
one.
Yeah.
Oh,
But Tadano is the one that is
Yeah.
releasing the first rough terrain crane.
Tadano. Introduces the world famous electric powered rough terrain crane in the next evolutionary step of meeting the company's environmental targets. Wow.
35% reduction from CO2 by 2030 and net zero by 2050.
What are the specs?
They
for
said the
sizes,
late
though?
23s they're going to have that crane up and running now.
What size?
Concept art looks pretty cool, but
I can make that.
yeah.
Well, there's no way that's a 12. It's 125.
It's interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean it's basically the same story, different article, you know, oh, it's producing less noise, less emissions, higher power, but low I don't know, low runtime, you know, not a lot of runtime.
Well, you think that most
'Cause-
of these rough terrains, once you get them into play, that's what I used to use all the time. I'd work with them when we were connecting. So, I mean, once you get them into spot, they don't move. So, I mean, keeping them powered, I feel like would be an easier solution, I guess. At first, I thought it was a goofy idea, but come to think of it, I think cranes would have been almost a perfect idea for this, just because they're stationary, they don't move. You'd be able to keep power to them.
Redirect some of that power from the tracks to the crane.
Well, they're going
Or
to.
even just hook it up to a power source itself and just
Right. Yeah, then you're always hooked in.
Well, and they did that a lot of times to, you know, cranes that were stationary. They'd hook them right to basically a generator, and they'd run them right there. They would. They're electric.
yeah, and they got all these big generators. I'm sure they got to have massive ones that can put out insane power for these insane machines like that.
Sure they do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was just trying to look and see what type of battery, how many voltage, and that kind of a thing. But it says it's the 1200 series type. It says an LR1250.1 unplugged battery power crane. So 1200.
That would be 120 ton if it's running by regular, like
Yep.
usually regular description. That's a big crane. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a big crane.
That's a real big.
So, and all electric. Just believe that. All electric. And if you
I guys heard of these? Heard of this company before?
did we what?
I've never heard of it.
Me either.
Which one?
No, I've never heard
Tadano.
of
Tadano.
it.
Tadano.
Tadano.
Sounds
It
like you're
says
saying it with an
saying-
Italian accent.
Yeah, I think Yeah, I'm not sure who Turdano is because I've not heard of that company, but it does have Liebherr down here in the article. It says manufacturer Liebherr. Liebherr is disputed.
In 2021, they released the first. That was
Oh,
what they were saying.
they're saying
First
in
one,
Germany they
yeah.
made one. They made the first one. It was back in 2021. Yeah.
Gotta restart my camera.
Yeah, that's all good. So there's a lot of cool stuff here. I mean, it's the bottom line is that, that they're moving towards it. As you see that we're telling you about new different things every day that, somebody has built something in that electric world that they're trying to keep up with it because 2030 is supposed to be a line where everybody's supposed to have switched over pretty much is what the U.S. government's telling us they'd like to see us to be done or handled or EPA, one of the two.
Did they reenact that? Because I thought Trump got that.
You got to pull out with the oil companies?
Well, I thought that that was part of the Paris Treaty, I believe it was. And he'd pulled out of that.
Oh, out of doing everything electric?
So, well, I don't know. I just don't know if that was a loophole or whatever.
Oh.
I don't know if that got to be a difference because I know that.
Should Google it sometime. Google it, no.
They don't. Well, they wanted to change all of the government vehicles and switch them all over to electric, but there wasn't a company that could provide it. They were trying to go through. I think Chevrolet had the contract, but I don't think they can produce the vehicle.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. They were in line to order over 100,000 of them.
So whatever happened.
I love that there's I'm sorry to cut you guys off. I think it's so hilarious that there's a comment on this article that says, Tesla leave her. I'm trying to find the right email to email my resume and info for a position for the drill shaft and drilling rigs division. ... Thank you, James. I don't think this is the right place to be submitting a job application request, Mr. Tony James 23.
Oh my gosh, huh? Well, he's just probably figuring everybody else is going to read it. He'd probably look and see if there's anybody else looking for somebody that wants a job, maybe, huh?
Threw himself out there. See what happens.
I guess there's,
That is funny,
advertising is different.
He wants a job with Tesla or leave her.
Or Liebherr?
Liebherr.
It's Liebherr.
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 Yeah.
There, now you're getting it. So, well, I'm sure Tesla's looking for people. Just tell them to call the Tesla hotline.
Japan's first flying car.
So, did you guys ever see or hear of Japan's new flying car?
Flying car?
Yeah.
Flying car.
Japan has the first flying car powered by a Suzuki.
There you go, Logan.
It's almost ready for certification.
Yeah, it's right close to certification, and everything does got to get certified, so they know that you can't just throw anybody in there and then they just crash it. It's got to have some safety features. We got to be able to be safe for ourselves.
They call it the Sky Drive.
The Sky Drive, they call it. Believe that?
Will it be coming to motorcycles?
Well,
I think it's already on motorcycles.
It looks like a motorcycle already.
They do. They have electric motorcycles now. Hey.
When I see a picture of that, it almost looks like a drone.
I don't know.
Sky Drive?
Logan, I don't know if they'll call it a motorcycle, but it is motored and it is the cycle. But they got them new bikes now. You can pedal them and you can hit the button and it'll pull you too. So it's got powered by batteries and stuff.
Well, they had that way back when
Here
you were
it
a
is.
kid. When was that again?
In the 60s?
Oh God. Okay, maybe it wasn't quite that long ago.
Yeah.
But it did.
Was
But they did have the pedal ones, like where you had
yeah, you charge it.
Yeah.
And go.
Yeah.
Well, Elon Musk had a comment about this, though.
He did.
Which is the fact that it's extremely noisy. Like, I'll just quote him verbatim, so thank you, Elon Musk, for saying this. But he said, take a regular drone, like one of those small little drones that we all know, and think about how loud that is, and then times that by like 1,000, and that's how loud that one of these flying cars would be. And just imagine trying to leave and come to your house and your neighbors hearing that. Maybe for somebody like you, Ray, who lives in the middle of nowhere, no problem. But for the city slickers, that's a lot of noise. Like, especially considering if everybody or a lot of people had one, kind of like at least like a Tesla's. You can see one every so often when you see it around.
Well,
And I mean, really, you're just better off buying a helicopter at that point.
Well, I think that, what's going to happen with these, they're going to be a detachable deal, so the car itself, you could leave your high noise stuff, where it usually folds up by the time you get on the ground. So you got to land outside in the country like I live, right? And then you drive into town with the car. How's that sound?
I still feel
That sounds pretty good. I mean, personally, it doesn't bother me. Like, I wouldn't mind
Hearing
a helicopter sound as long as you ain't sitting there hovering above your house for 3 hours. You know what I mean? It's like, okay,
At 3 a.m.
yeah, at 3 a.m. It's like, yeah, that's fine. But like, that somebody is just going to be like, I'm going to hook my cable into it. And I'm just going to hover above my house because I'm mad and I just want to sit in my hover car.
Oh, so you found somebody that didn't like you, is what you're saying.
How the cops deal with that situation?
I keep thinking that.
Yeah.
Their own hover car.
The flying hover car, loitering in the sky.
Well, just tell everybody you're cleaning the leaves out of their yard.
Yeah, you got to leave.
Why you got to do it at 3 a.m.?
Why? Yeah, you didn't even ask.
Am I getting paid?
Like that guy in Fargo, he didn't want to chip away his ice, so he took out a blowtorch. He got his butt in a lot of trouble for that, but he took a blowtorch to melting the ice on the sidewalk. And his neighbors got freaked out.
Oh, well, that wasn't such a bad idea. I would have.
Well,
would have absolutely done that.
Yeah.
Maybe my childhood dream is going to come true, and we're going to have flying cars. Amazing.
Well, we already have them, so I mean, your dream has come true. If you just look at the article there, it's Japan's first flying car. Just Google it that way, and it'll come up.
We all know
It's also a
DeLorean.
I see it. I'm looking at the article.
Oh, you are? Okay.
It's also a
It's a what? Sleek.
It's also a cloud-based, like a cloud drive.
Yeah.
Called Sky.
Cloud Drive?
Yeah. SkyDrive. Forced to rename it SkyDrive due to trademark. Oh, Microsoft got in trouble.
Oh, they did. They tried to take some.
I guess the original name of OneDrive was SkyDrive.
Ooh.
I just finished reading it, seeing that's going to be a taxi. It's not even going to be just a regular car. We're just going to throw them right into
It's a taxi.
Well,
what'll have to happen, which is, they'll have to have some type of feature like the Teslas have with autopilot and stuff like that, where it's like it could, like, you could be brain dead and operate this thing, and you're not going to die. Like, it's like it will save you at all costs necessary, right?
Yeah.
And then along with autopilot come,
What's the cab fare in one of these bad boys?
the cab fare.
It'll be less than your.
But I'm just thinking of like traffic, like no stop signs in the sky, right?
See, now
Not yet.
You guys got me going to you're already starting me in Back to the Future 2 now, where you got.
Well, no, you got to understand, like, there's going to be a whole different flow of traffic, similar to an airport, right? Like, it's like, there's no stop signs there. It's just like there's a constant flow of traffic that is very synchronized. Planes come in, especially busy airports, they're coming in nonstop, and, I think it's a lot of interesting stuff. I think I really would love to see something like that happen, just because I know I wouldn't be the idiot who crashes his hover car into somebody's house. But there's undoubtedly going to be that one Jimmy out there who ruins it for everybody for at least a couple years.
Well, he probably puts a little mud on his sensors, and then he runs it into something, just to check it out.
That's why we use infrared.
Yeah, well, they can go faulty too.
First DUI in a flying car.
No, you wouldn't be driving.
Autopilot. How are you going to get a DWI? It's the car did it.
Yeah, the car.
The cars. Oh my God! I just opened up a whole layer of complexity. Like, what if somebody actually made that argument in court and was like, "Officer, I wasn't driving my car. The Tesla autopilot was." Case closed. I wasn't operating it.
Responsibility.
and I wasn't drinking either. I was swallowing.
No, I was no. You tell them I was definitely drunk, no doubt. Okay.
I relied on my car.
And I relied on my car because it has a Highway Safety Institute rating, and I don't even have to. I could sleep in my driver's seat, and it'll get me home safely. And it's like, well, interesting, isn't it now? It's like we're getting to a point to where your cars can literally drive themselves, And granted, it's only Tesla, but like that'll become a normal thing in the future, for sure. Even if we don't have hover cars, definitely going to have self-driving cars.
Yeah, that's a good point. Good point.
Well, I think in that situation, probably sue the manufacturer if it malfunctions and they hit you.
Well, yeah, sure, but the likelihood of that happening is so low, and it's like,
well, if we're in a situation where he's already getting busted for a DUI, we're already there, man.
Well,
I guess if you're keeping that in context, so you hit somebody while you're drunk, but your car was doing the driving, I'm sure judges are going to have so much fun with that in the future.
I'm sure they won't.
Yeah, the judge it'll be either verdict or no verdict. Bam, you're gone. They'll throw you in
Yeah, anyways,
tube.
I think that was the last article.
I think so too.
I think that's it.
Truck through them.
Huh? Well,
I got through all of them.
All of them? And what time do we have? We have enough time?
We're at around 40 minutes.
Okay. Well, and that's the light of it all. We do have a lot of other different topics that are going to be coming up. We wanted to kind of hit on some of the new things that are coming out in the autonomous world and also in the electric world, and that's what's kind of cool about it. Because we're talking about we deal here at IRAY with heavy equipment, truck, trailers, everything else, and so it comes down to moving earth or earth moving equipment. They got a lot of things that are going towards the electric only because of the fact that the emissions are pushing them there. And in reality, you're taking people out of the equation in a lot of these circumstances, because you could have them operate a piece of equipment from their home or their office, or maybe not at all. Maybe you're just into a program where they got a CD ROM type or a GPS type system that they plug it in and they let her run and just sit back. Some of these other equipments that are out there right now, they run on their own. You're basically sitting in the seat and you're kind of watching her go. But we're going to keep on with the podcast of equipment talk, and we're going to have some really cool stuff coming up here in the near future. But we definitely enjoy the talk, and I want to thank not only Logan and Jordan and Troy for coming out and kind of sharing these talks, but these guys are all businessmen, and they're in their prime as far as being in the industries, as far as going what they're doing. And what I mean by that is when it comes down to programming and when it comes down to delivering a good system that works. So I think you guys got a lot to offer, and I want to thank you for actually being here today again as well. So again,
thank you, Ray. Pleasure being here.
Yeah, thank you.
Again, this is Equipment Talk, and we're doing it for
Hold on, Ray.
IRAY Companies, and
hold on.
Hold on. You want something else to talk about first?
When's the auction?
Oh, golly. We got to tell them about that too, huh?
Got to plug the auction.
We're having an auction all the time. Every 4 to 6 weeks, we're having a heavy equipment auction, and we're all over the United States and the world. We're basically selling stuff. So the next one coming up here is going to be the Wednesday, and that's May 18th, and that will be on our virtual, basically, or if you want to say a simulcast, we're going to be running at 8 a.m. If you want to pre-bid on it, get on early. You can actually start looking at the items as we speak, and you can bid on them. You can put a max bid on them. It'll run until 5:59 a.m., and then it goes over to the simulcast, which is basically a live auction online. So again, my name is Ray. They call me the Colonel Ray Henry, and I'm from IRAY Auctions, and I want to thank everybody again for at least listening to us, and also for being here with us. Thank you.